in my life for the daily life results I've got now. So graduated as a doctor 2003, immigrated to Australia in 2004, did a few years of intensive care, emergency medicine, anesthetics, pediatrics, orthopedics, worked at the Gold Coast Hospital in Southport and Robina, went to Logan, Christchurch, New Zealand, and back to Australia. And now I work at PA and I work for CareFlight, Royal Flying Doctor Service. So CareFlight, there's CareFlight New South Wales and CareFlight Queensland. CareFlight Queensland, of course, is this. We're here. I've been all over the place. It's a beautiful part of Australia. And currently I work in Roma. So on Monday I will fly to Roma and be part of the CareFlight retrieval team for the miners, in case something nasty happens to the miners. They also do fixed-wing retrievals in Learjets, in business jets, to pick up patients from Pacific Islands, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, Hawaii, Fiji, missionaries, tourists, fishermen. So this is one of the helicopters, and we normally take all our equipment with us, like a little intensive care unit in a few bags, ventilators, blood pressure devices, medications. Everything is small and lightweight. So this is on top of the Royal Brisbane Hospital. So we fly to expedite sites, and we land the chopper on the road. Stabilize the patients and fly them to a tertiary hospital, most often the Royal Brisbane or PA hospital. Main role of the doctor is, like a doctor has got experience and skill about maintaining an airway, breathing, circulation, disability. So it's always A, B, C, D. So it's 12 years of training just to say A, B, C, and D. Winching, which is very cool. Sometimes we need to winch up patients from Springbok National Park, for instance, 80 meters up, and the cable is only 7 mils thick, hanging there with, that's me with a patient in a stretcher and equipment, and just through narrow spaces. So another case, a man from South America with a sore hand. He had his hand trapped in a device on the boat, and it got mangled up in a machine. So we had to pick him up and fly him to a hand surgeon in Auckland. And it took them 3 days to sail to Pacific Islands with a long runway. So his hand got stuck in this device. This is, I deleted the other photos for your benefit. And here you go. Remember the plane from this flight simulator as a teenager? This is exactly the same plane. And now, I can fly in it and, in the back seat. So it's always nice to have,
That's an aero medical evacuation.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than a flying doctor.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
What's the difference?
There's none.
The doctor uses King Airs, mostly, and that's Learjet.
Yeah. So this is for the long distances, the long haul flights. So the King Airs are for the shorter distances. No, we fly with them as well. And the helicopters for the short distances. 200 kilometer range. The King Air more 400-500 kilometers. This one is for a few thousand kilometers. It flies very fast, nearly with the speed of sound. Yeah, and very high and cruisy and expensive. It's about $7,000 an hour or $5,000 per flying hour. So whenever you go overseas on holidays, always have travel insurance. You can forget my other bits and pieces, my details or whatever air flights. Always remember for the rest of your life, whenever you go overseas, even if it's for 1 week or a few days, travel insurance, always. Something happens, it's $5,000 per flying hour to retrieve you. So an 8-hour flight is $40,000 out of your own pocket, or the travel insurance. no, you'd rather do your travel insurance. Yeah. So we picked up this fisherman and brought him to Auckland. And then rental car, for a snooze and break down. So it doesn't always go as smooth, like a day. He chuckled, he was worried. Left going again, they're pretty handy. And we had some dinner in Auckland afterwards. And then a good snooze, and then next day, we flew back to the Gold Coast base. So pilot, paramedic, another pilot, and doctor. So on the helicopter, there's always a pilot, a crew member, a winch operator, and a doctor. So paramedic, yeah. Doctor, paramedic, pilot, crew member. On the Learjet, there's a doctor, a nurse, and 2 pilots. So it's always like a crew of 4 for one patient. There's some downtime as well. This is Currumbin Markets. There's a Dutch, poffertjes kraam with a Dutch lady, and I normally eat the poffertjes. A bit of flying lessons, and sometimes a little snooze. These are the medications to revive a patient. So it is there are medications to support the heart, medications to support the blood pressure, medications to paralyze the patients, to be able to intubate the patient, to put a patient on a breathing machine. There's medications for pain relief, and it's all in a little suitcase. And some bits and pieces for the airway, for the breathing, for drips and lines, a ventilator to take over the lung function for very sick patients, oxygen monitor for the blood pressure, the heart rate, oxygen in the blood. There's a little bridge. Yeah, so I'll just show you in this the equipment, and I'll show you some movies in a few minutes. So I was involved with the Brisbane floods as well, very, very dramatic. And I'll show some movies at the end. But with my World Health kind of thingy, I got the opportunity to run the New York Marathon, and so I trained for it. This was a photo taken by the sun, hair by a photographer, and I run maybe 40 kilometers a week, for training for the New York Marathon. Raised $10,000 in about 6 months' time, like a daytime job. In the last few weeks, phoning people up and chasing them up, and and the raffle tickets, of course, for the gliding flight and massages, and so I've got a lot of respect for people who raise funds for charity. My head off. But I got to $10,000 just 2 days before the marathon, and then the marathon was cancelled. So I did my training on a treadmill with an oxygen. It was called a VO2 max test, just to have a look at the fitness of the body. So this was a few months before the marathon, with 2 experts who closely look at the trace of how well my heart is doing, and my breathing, and my lung function, just to improve the training times, the training scheme. So I flew over Brisbane, Auckland, San Francisco, and then I had to stop. I had to have a stopover because at the same time Sandy was making trouble and causing trouble on the East Coast. So I stayed an additional night in San Francisco.
What's that, Sandy's?
Sandy's hurricane, Hurricane. So that was the name of the hurricane. You caused some troubles in New York. Thank you. Sandy equals trouble, for me, for the rest of my life. So I won't call my children Sandy. Yes, so this is just this was 2 days after Sandy. I flew in over New York, and this is like a marina. This is all boats on top of each other, and boats in backyards, and so so I didn't run, but we did do some volunteer work.